Hi there, it's Robin Norgren with Your Gifted Learner, and I'm coming to you with another tip question of the day. I'm a kindergarten teacher who has been trained as a Montessori teacher, have taken over a classroom, and so I'd like to share with you things that are going on in my classroom, what's working, what's not working, and why I believe the philosophical pedagogy of Montessori actually does work in a regular classroom. And so today's topic is what about holding students accountable, and how does that relate to Montessori? So many people know, many people have this false sense of that if you have a child in a Montessori classroom, that they are allowed to just kind of go and do what they want, and they're free to do what they like, and there's no, you don't ever really tell a child they can't do something. And well, I think I think what we've done is we've taken something and we've really blown it out of proportion, to be quite honest with you. Um, in my school right now, I do something called raise values, and so it's like character traits. So it's respect, accountability, integrity, service, excellence, right? So I'd like to address this idea of accountability. Accountability is the most amazing thing to teach children from an early age. And it's something that it is very hard for some parents to get on board with, this idea that you can hold a 5-year-old accountable for what they are doing. And so I have always had that sense of that, just as a human. Then I took my Montessori training, and within the confines of that training tells you you have to hold children accountable. Now, we could, maybe in a Montessori setting, you might hear the words natural consequences, right? So there's a child doing something, we'll let them continue to do it. We'll see what happens, observe them is what we'd call it. And then, at some point, something's going to happen because you're the adult in the room and you understand that actions have consequences. Now, that doesn't mean that we're letting children cut hair and and run around with scissors or anything like that. Those things are stopped. Like we are competent people, but there are things where you're okay, we all are going to have an event later. You're choosing to, let's say in a Montessori classroom, not choose challenging works, not stay on your work plan, all of these things. So when it comes time for us to have a celebration later, you will be invited to do something else, because we've all worked hard today. We all had a conversation in our meeting time that, of course, we're going to be so happy to celebrate someone later today. But if you're choosing not to work hard, why would you get to be involved in the fun activity? Now, I know that's not for everybody. Oh my goodness, why doesn't he get to be a part of the celebration? Why doesn't she get to join in? It's a natural consequence. We discussed it in a meeting time. We agree that we are still here to work and learn, and this is what we're doing later, and we need to do our part so you can get to do that part. So I will say that that's, in a Montessori classroom, when I'm in there, I'm strongly holding to that. Now, translating it to a regular charter classroom or gen ed classroom, we had something called a Kings and Queens unit. And at the end of the unit, everyone got to dress up as royalty. I sent out a sign-up genius. We did a party. We were going to do a party. But we had a morning meeting. Now listen, this is still a school day. The expectation is you are supposed to be working until the party. I am letting you know now that I'm holding you accountable. I have to teach today. You have to be willing to learn today. So throughout the day, there would be things that would happen, and then I would just say, oh, and then I would just add a number to the board. And when we came back in the afternoon, I said, that number is how many minutes that I have taken away from the amount of time that we're going to have this party. Right. So, in our school, we have a special every day where a teacher comes in and teaches either music or technology or art. And so I said, pointed at that number, I said, doesn't seem like we're going to get the sticker we get for behavior at the end of the time. I will let you know. I will add a lot more numbers if you do not get your sticker today. That will be me holding you accountable. I expect excellence today. Not what you've been giving me. Excellence, right? Sure enough, do you know, she was like, I have never seen the class this ready to go, in leadership position, on task. I said, okay. You know what the natural consequence of that is? And I erased all the numbers I put up there. I said, thank you for showing integrity, for showing excellence, and for being accountable for your actions. So again, like I said, this is where, again, we have a lot of these, myths about what 5-year-olds can and cannot do. I don't speak in a tone that is disrespectful or sarcastic, and I do not yell. And you have to really hold yourself to that, because clearly there are times when you might want to do any of those 3 things, right? But I think long term, it is a matter of just trusting yourself, that you're building in so much intrinsic value to what you're giving to them that you can kind of call on them to, pay up. We have been working together on this all year. Even though I wasn't there for your first 10 weeks, I have an expectation for you, and I know you can do it. And many of them can, some of them can't. I do adjust it for a few. This is the thing. This is another one of those things we don't really talk about. I'll talk about in another video. The kids in the room understand who need a little more help. You're not blowing their minds here. And so I think even as humans, when you notice that your teacher gives someone who everybody notices just needs a little more help, that stays with them, because they're going to find people in life that just need a little more help. So anyway, if you have any questions for me about Montessori or how I apply certain principles into my classroom that you know about, please go ahead and put them down in the comments below. Make sure and like and share, and of course subscribe if you like this type of material. And thank you. Have a great day.